And there was something else that I saw with John Boyega. There's been talking some Star Wars stuff. So we'll talk some Star Wars stuff too, Chris Carr. Let's do it. Boyega talks his early Star Wars expectations. His March, every time, this is the one thing about poor Boyega is that, he didn't even have a great experience on these 3 films. And it's really kind of all he's asked about on a lot of his projects now. But in the wake of the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker in 2019, the last theatrical movie that they've done, by the way, that's insanity. John Boyega has given interviews about his time with Star Wars and the misgivings that he had. Now, part of that stemmed from the obvious sidelining of his character, effectively the male lead alongside Daisy Ridley's Rey in The Force Awakens. His character was reduced to a supporting role in the subsequent 2 films. Part of that seemed to stem from the lack of a real plan for the sequel trilogy, which saw 3 films with quite different storytelling goals and tone. During an appearance, at Fan Expo Boston last weekend, Boyega revealed that one potential reason for his frustration was the different expectations for his arc than what made it to the screen. So I think I assumed he was Force sensitive from the Force Awakens script, or at least by the time I got to the end of the Force Awakens script. I thought they were planning dual Jedis. I also thought they would Obi-Wan and Darth Vader us a bit. They would turn each other. I can't read today. That we would turn against each other or something along those lines. Despite his criticisms, Boyega has reaffirmed in recent years that he remains a massive, massive fan of Star Wars. The actor has multiple films in post-production right now, including The Freshening, Otis and Zelma, and a sequel to the first film he starred in 2011's Attack the Block. I did not know that they were doing a sequel to Attack the Block.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. So this is another, you were talking about Johnny Depp and how his stance has kind of softened on doing another Pirates thing. And it seems that Boyega is the same. I think that with the return of Daisy Ridley, which we'll ultimately see, and I think that as they're going to start putting movies, the next block of movies after Mandalorian and Grogu was Starfighter, and they seem to be placing it in the tone 5-10 years plus after Rise of Skywalker, and then Rey's going to start showing up, and they're going to start setting the tone of what the galaxy looks like there, right? It would make sense for Poe to show up again, and it certainly would make sense for Finn to show up again. And because of the relationship that I think Daisy Ridley, if you're at Lucasfilm and you're Disney and you know that you've done this guy wrong and you know you have Daisy Ridley on board and she's like, I can talk to John, you have her talk to John. And I think that's what's happened. I think that's why he softened on his stance. I think we see him back. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be in Starfighter, probably not. But if they ever do that Rey movie or anything with her, whether it's the Simon Kinberg trilogy or whatever it might be, he'll show up again. Do you feel the same way? Or do you think he's toast?
Oh, man, I'm so glad to finally talk to you guys about Cash App. I've been using Cash App forever, and now I get to talk to you guys about it. Don't worry. It's very easy, fast to sign up. Do you even know how much interest your money is earning you in your bank account right now? Well, let me tell you some stuff. Cash App can do way more than you think to make your money work for you. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings. There's no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements. Also, you can hit your saving goals even faster by turning on the Roundups feature on your Cash App card. With Roundups, every purchase you make using the card is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that spare change is automatically put into your savings. Don't let your money sit around and gather dust. Make it work for you. Take advantage of high interest savings on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, Kristian, in your profile, send $5 to a friend. Within 14 days, you're going to get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partner. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure.
Oh, I think you nailed it. I think that's absolutely it. Because he was so excited, as you would be, to be a part of Star Wars. Oh my gosh. The video of him seeing the trailer for this time, first time, and reacting with his friends is so wonderful. If y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. But they did do him dirty. The stuff they did with his character was just bleh. They could have had so much fun. And that was such an interesting through line, too, that I wish they tugged at more of that whole anyone can be force sensitive. Anyone can have this. It's not that you're part of some lineage like the Skywalkers, like the Palpatines. It can be just anyone is force sensitive, much like Anakin, just being this miracle of a being, right? And I think that's something they really missed with playing around with his character, and especially because of the chemistry he has with Daisy Ridley, you know, with Isaac as well. I mean, he's wonderful, and he's such a tremendous actor, and he's really proven himself in the last few films he's chosen as well. I think it was wise of him to kind of back away from big blockbuster franchises and just hone in on showing us those chops. You know, Woman King, he's excellent in. And I do think that there's a place for him still in Star Wars, especially if they give him the kind of role he deserves and the kind of role that that character deserves too, because Finn was really interesting.
He was super interesting after the, I mean, like I was with him. I remember being on Jedi Council going, no, this guy's definitely going to be force sensitive. You can see that happening. And eventually he was, but in such a bizarre way at the end, and he still hasn't told Rey his secret. Does he ever tell her the secret?
No.
And we don't even know. I have a secret. What is it? Oh, don't worry about it. I'll tell you when. It's off air. And it's one of those things where they had this set up, and then they just completely took him from episode 7 in the beginning, episode 8, and like, oh, let's pretend 7 really didn't happen with this character, and put him exactly the same exact way he was in the beginning of episode 7. Let's take away everything that he learned in 7 and just make him this side character. He's going to run around in this casino planet, and he'll put the comic relief. It's like he had the arc, in him and Rey had the arcs in episode 7, and that was kind of pooped on. So I can understand being frustrated there, and then by the time we get to 9, they didn't know what to do with them anymore. And it's like JJ was like, well, I had this thing set up for him. Let's kind of forget that 8 really happened, and then we'll kind of piece this together. But we still, Rey's got this other thing going on, and it was a mess. So if he's able to do it, and he's able to, he was the only one that, and you could see him during the press for episode 9 starting to get frustrated with the way that Star Wars fans were getting frustrated. He watched the Clone Wars. He watched these shows. He was a Star Wars fan. So he saw when it came to, like, when the stormtroopers are flying, and JJ put that stupid line in there when Oscar Isaac, oh, they fly now? And they fly now? That dumb thing. And he said in the press, he's like, wow, they've been flying since the clone troopers flew in thing, and they've been flying forever. He knew that people flew.
Well, I want more actors to speak up in the process about that stuff too, when they know it. Like, that's what I loved about Boyega. That's what I love about Henry Cavill, about almost any nerdy kind of property. Like The Witcher, he'd be like, this isn't what happens in the books. Right? This is not how that goes. I think that if you are a fan, that's what we fans want too, is to see ourselves represented in the media of, oh my gosh, isn't it so cool that one of us gets to be in one of these movies? One of us nerds gets to be in here. And so use that knowledge. Also, why doesn't Star Wars have like a dramaturg? You know, like, why isn't there somebody on set who does no, canonically, that's not what happens? I just, that always confuses me. If community theater has that, I feel like Lucasfilm.
But they said that Pablo Hidalgo was supposed to be the guy that did that, and Leland Shee was supposed to be the guy that did that, and then Dave Filoni was supposed to be the guy. They don't ever do that. They change things up left and right. And even when I talked about this with and I think this was the right move, by the way, but when Tony Gilroy came in for Andor season 2, we knew K2SO was coming in. And I said this from the get-go. I said there is no world where Tony Gilroy is going to follow the actual canon of how K2SO and Andor met, because Lucasfilm made this announcement back in 2012. I think they shouldn't have, where they said all of our comics, all of our games, all of our anime, everything that we have moving forward, it's all canon. It all is part of it. So basically lying to the comics and books fans that if you read this, then if you read something from a book, that's what happened. And they'll mention it in movies and everything else too, and you'll be rewarded that way, right? If you're in for the canon. Well, they wrote a comic, and this is one of many instances where they just, said, no, I'm not going to do that. And they had and in this particular thing, they had K2SO, and how him and Andor met was significantly different than what happened in Andor season 2. My opinion is it was way better in how they met in Andor season 2 than in the comic, But Tony Gill was like, I'm not following the comic. I'm not doing this. And then they were like, okay. And it's like, yeah, they have someone who's on there to say, hey, well, this is what happened, but they don't follow it. So it doesn't matter. I think they need to change that moving forward, not necessarily the books and the comics and stuff, but they need to all be on the same page, put things together, and then maybe you can get some justice for an actor like John Boyega with his character moving forward.
I agree.
So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Do you think that Boyega is going to return? Not going to return? Do you think he's just being nice during these, panels? Because that's what he's there for. And those people are going to ask him, and he knows how to play the game. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know, whether it's on the